I'm Thom, and I've been drinking whiskey for a long time. I know what I like, and I know what I don't. I know what I'm willing to spend my money on, and what I think is a waste. My sister Patsy has never agreed with any of that. This is Whiskey Face, where I pick the whiskey.
Oh, that got both eyes going.
And Patsy tells me exactly what she thinks of it. Welcome to Whiskey Face. I'm Thom.
I'm Patsy.
And we're going to educate a little and try a little on whiskey with the idea that maybe we'll get Patsy to like some whiskey. We're going to start our first episode with Maker's Mark. And we're starting with Maker's Mark for a couple of reasons. One, it's an easy wheated whiskey, which means instead of rye, it has wheat. So a bourbon has at least 50% corn, typically rye, and malted barley. The Samuels family took the rye out, put wheat in its place, which makes it softer, easier to drink, in theory. And so we're going to start with that today. And the other reason is...
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Because while probably everybody knows this, but me, we're doing whiskey, but all bourbons are whiskeys, correct?
That's right.
I got it.
Bourbon
Woo!
is a subset of whiskey. So we'll try other types of whiskey as the podcast ages. But Maker's is originally created by the Samuels family. They're based out in Loretto, Kentucky. And the other reason that we're picking them today is connected to Patsy. And that's because Patsy is a fan of Dale Chihuly's glasswork, based out of Washington State. And Maker's, as sort of a tribute to craft generally, has a significant Chihuly glass installation at their distillery, both outside the distillery, and they have a beautiful ceiling.
I do love Chihuly. So, I would like that.
So we thought we'd get that little connection, see if we could pull her into whiskey through craft and glass. We'll see how we start. So we're going to start...
Okay, I had one more question. None of your other bottles have this. Why this?
So Maker's is one of their trademarks is red wax dip on their bottles. And they hand dip each of the bottles as it comes down the line. So there's still people involved, literally touching the bottles.
Don't they make a lot?
They do. But they protect this vigorously. They have forced other distilleries that have tried to use red wax to stop using the red wax. So most of the time, if you see a red wax tipped bottle like that, and it's whiskey at least, you can guess that it's a Maker's product.
Okay.
So as we move to the tasting, you started tasting by smelling it. And in the case of Maker's, you're typically going to find people get some vanilla, some sweetness, maybe a little bit of the oak, but not a heavy heat type smell because, again, of the wheat. There's not any rye. And then when you taste it, you're going to taste it 2 or 3 sips, but we'll only make you do 2. But you're going to taste it after you've smelled the nose, and that taste is going to come over your tongue to the sides and back. And you're probably, at least for me, going to get some of that vanilla. I get some soft fruits. I actually get a little cherry on this. I think that's not necessarily typical what people would say, but I get that. And you do get some cereal grains. I mentioned the rye was removed and wheat was put in, but if you think about it, this is basically the same grains you would find in bread or cereal. And in fact, Bill Samuels tested his mash bills by baking them into bread.
I do not ever think of whiskey and bread in the same thing.
But the same grains. And so
I can follow that, but bread tastes good.
So does whiskey. You'll get some of that grain flavor, bread grain, cereal grain flavor as you drink this as well.
You know, when you tip it to me, I'm already getting the smell.
And you love it, I'm sure. So we're going to make a redemption round later in this glass, but for those of you that want to get a closer look, see if I get that right. But the basic idea here is we're going to have Patsy taste the whiskey, and then we're going to rate her face based on the scale on this glass from 1 to 5 to see where it falls. So if you want to go ahead and start your tasting.
That was really strong.
We'll see if she can even make it.
Don't make me laugh when I do it. I inhale lots more fumes. Oh my.
Are you going to be
I
able
thought
to
you
get a
said it
second?
wasn't supposed to be spicy.
So Maker's is not typically considered a spicier whiskey. All whiskey's going to have some heat.
Feel it
But-
all the way down my tongue. Oh.
So I have to say, I thought we would start with this easier drinking sort of gateway whiskey, and we'd probably get at least a middle of the road reaction
Eyes
here.
watering.
But I think on this scale, we're at a level 4. I would say an offended face there. Surprising to me, not what I expected, but still going
You feel
strong.
it going all the way down.
So we're going to go do a redemption round now, and the redemption round idea is to see if we can take something about this whiskey and change it somehow so that Patsy may like it at least a little better. And I should point
Good
out,
luck.
this is not an attempt to be cruel to Patsy. I have actually had friends that I've introduced to whiskey who didn't like it, but as they've become more exposed to it, have now grown to like it and make some really great cocktails out of it. And that's what we're going to do with Patsy, is make a really nice cocktail and see if she likes Maker's in a cocktail better.
So while Thom starts the cocktail, I asked bartender friends of mine the best way to get rid of that whiskey taste, suck on a lemon. Ooh, wow.
I like that taste.
Okay, so for today's cocktail, we're going to make a classic old-fashioned. Now, some people would say you should do that with a sugar cube. That would be a traditional way to make it. We don't have time for that to dissolve in today's podcast, so we're going to use simple syrup, just some bitters, and Maker's Mark whiskey with a twist of orange. 1 cube, big cube, so it goes very gently in the dissolution. I have a bartender friend who would say that the more traditional, even than I've just explained way to do this, would be to muddle the orange and cherry on the bottom of the glass and then put crushed ice over the top, pour the whiskey over that, so it's sort of layered. If you do it that way, you're going to get the whiskey first. As you drink more, it's obviously going to blend in with the water from the ice and the muddled fruit. But you're not going to really get that completely blended from the start, which is what we're going for here. Okay, so we're going to start with the simple sugar and add a couple dashes of bitters. I'm going to get a stirring stick. And I'm just going to blend those together. Hard with the ice in there, but that's how we started. And then we'll just pour the whiskey right over that. And I'll give that to her.
Orange. Did you use your little
Oh,
orange?
thank you.
You have your cute orange.
Important. She can be very helpful sometimes. We're going to just express the orange over the top. And then I also wipe the orange around the glass rim, just because I think the citrus helps to distract a little bit for those who don't initially want that hit of whiskey.
And Thom left the cherry out of this one because he tricked me with whiskey-soaked cherries one time. And if you want to, that was the top of the scale of bad faces that I actually spit it out. So he's not torturing me that way again.
And coincidentally, those were soaked in Maker's Mark. So again, should have been a pretty simple whiskey cherry.
But you do usually use a special type of cherry, don't you?
I use Luxardo cherries typically.
Okay. Okay. I do smell the orange.
Okay.
I forgot to
A little bit
smell.
easier.
The smell is better.
Okay.
I like the orange.
It's very tentative though.
Oh my. I think that got stronger.
Not sure how sugar makes it stronger. The idea of sugar was to
Oh, that
actually
got
make
both
it
eyes
easier.
going.
So we're not seeing much redemption in this cocktail. I should have mentioned the old-fashioned cocktail is the oldest named cocktail we know of. And it's very basic. It's, as you just saw, it's a spirit, typically whiskey, but as tequila becomes more popular, you're seeing some made of tequila with sugar, citrus, and bitters. Very simple.
That will just clear out all your sinuses.
There you go.
Wow. I don't know. I think that got stronger that time.
I don't think sugar normally makes it stronger to most people, but that's where we have it from Patsy. So we'll try again next week. I want to
Where
point
did you
out.
rank me?
Oh, that's a great. I would say you didn't really get much better. Maybe you moved a little bit away from offended towards regret, but it wasn't much better in this case. So I'm gonna probably keep you in the offended range. I wanted to point
That's
out.
okay.
Patsy, aside from helping me with this podcast, does a radio show once a month where she is known as the Queen of Gratitude. And you can get details on that in our notes and description. But you can listen to her and learn all about gratitude. But I want you to think as you're watching this, is she grateful that she's being introduced to whiskey?
She is grateful she's done tasting.
Can I answer that?
There you go. If you're interested in the glass, the whiskey scale, we have some items available for sale as well, and you can find that in our description as well. So we'll see you next week. Next week, we are off to the races, so we hope you'll join us for that.